We're talking with Tim McGraw today about the deluxe edition of his album. And specifically, we're talking about some of these incredible songs like his collaboration with Tyler Hubbard called Undivided. And also just that struggle, the battle between art and commerce when you're making a record. Here's my conversation with Tim McGraw. So let's start, of course, with a congratulations on the deluxe album. I'm excited for you. One, I mean, it's always exciting when there's a new batch of songs. So I wanted to jump in with God Moves the Pen.
This was my favorite album I've ever done, the whole Hero on Earth albums. Sonically, the songs, the experience we had recording the record, it was a favorite project that I've done in my entire career. I loved everything about it, from the sequencing to the songs to everything. So when we had Undivided come in, and I really wanted to record that song because I thought it was so timely and it had such a positive message. And I think, there's plenty of things to rant and rave about, but I thought, it was good to have a positive message out there as well. Mm-hmm. So when we brought that song in and we decided to release it, it made sense. Okay, how are we going to release this song? And it's not on the album, and how are we going to reintroduce the album with this song on it? And then we got to thinking, well, there were a lot of songs that didn't make the album that we really loved, and songs that we held on to that thought, well, we can use these down the road for something cool, for maybe a movie or for something. And so when we decided to come out with the deluxe album, we just had some great songs we wanted to put on there, and including God Moves the Pen and Cutting Onions, which were two of my favorite things that I'd recorded that didn't make the original cut for the album.
That is the thing. Well, one, you said so many things that I want to follow up about. But one is, it is always heartbreaking what ends up not getting cut or what ends up getting cut but doesn't make the record. You feel for those songwriters, right? I mean, and so it is an amazing opportunity to go back and go, what else would we have put on here?
Yeah, and it's tough, because, most of these songwriters are my friends and have been friends of mine for a long time. So when they give you their best stuff and it doesn't quite make the record, it's not because it wasn't good enough to make the record. It was because of the theme of the record or the sequencing of the record or however it may fall. And you end up not using them. It's a tough call to make to some of your friends when those records. Yeah. You're right. Have the opportunity to reintroduce those songs and have people hear them was golden. And I'm so glad we were able to do it. And I always am heartbroken, not only about the songs that don't make the album, but I'm also always broken about all the songs on the album that aren't the singles that sometimes are I like better than I like the singles, and nobody gets to hear them unless they buy the album.
Well, and I've always been really intrigued by the team that you have around you as part of that process, Missy and Byron. I think, what if the whole key to the whole thing, and I'd be curious if you disagree with me, is just the quality of the songs as that very first bar?
Yes, that's absolutely everything in my career is the quality of the songs, as being the penultimate of what I look at as a recording artist. I write all the time. I mean, I'm a songwriter. I mean, I've written songs for movies. I've written songs for my album. I write all the time, and I try to write for every album. But my songs have to go into the batch and compete against all the best songs that come in there. And 9 times out of 10, mine don't match up to the coming in. And you have to be there. I feel like as an artist, the song has to always win. Look, there are people at 7-Eleven that can sing circles around me, but having a hit song and having a great song and having a song with a message and a song that's got meat on the bones and songs that stand the test of time, as an artist, that's what I want to do.
Yes, amen. So you mentioned having good friends and old friends on this record, and in this batch of new songs, there is, you mentioned it, God Moves the Pen, which is written by Tony Lane and James Slater. I'm assuming you've known those dudes for a long time.
For a long time. Tony Lane, gosh, I Need You, for goodness sake. I mean, one of the biggest songs of from mine and Faith's career. I mean, that was Faith's dad's favorite song before he passed away. I mean, just great artists and songwriters, and I love hearing their demos. When you get a demo from those guys, you know who it is. And then you got, Tom Douglas, who's on the album, and I don't think I've ever had an album in the last 7 or 8 anyway that doesn't have a Tom Douglas song on it. And Amy Mayo's on the album, and Lori McKenna, and the Warren brothers, Lance Miller, all who are my best friends in the world.
Absolutely. So I've really been enjoying your Beyond the Influence radio show. You seem like such a natural.
You know, I'm always nervous about those things. I'm always nervous about what to ask. And, you know, especially like somebody like Springsteen, who I've known for years and who's a friend. So you get on, you're scared to ask certain things, but you have to talk to them like nobody, like you don't know that much about them because you want to inform the audience. But I find it an interesting way to sort of use your talent, I guess, and sort of amplify or add to your talent. I think that anytime you do those sorts of things, especially when you're nervous and especially when you're not so sure-footed of yourself when you're doing it and you try to learn as you go, just like acting or anything else, I think all of those things enhance what your first art form is, which is music to me. So I think doing movies, doing interviews with people in radio shows and those sorts of things, writing books, all those things to me are stuff that are add-ons and support systems for what my real job is.
Yeah, I find for me that creativity breeds more creativity. And I've had people tell me to focus on, hey, focus on songwriting, focus on this only. And I think we do have to put songwriting first, right? But I think it isn't a zero-sum game.
Without a song, you got nothing. So.
That's right. So one thing that I loved from the Keith interview is you talking about how to evolve as an artist. So I want to bring it back to you as an artist now and talk about evolving, even in this decision, whether it's to cut Undivided and then releasing the deluxe album, but also the new music that you're working on. Like, what are you thinking about right now as far as what it means for you to evolve?
Well, I think for me as an artist, I don't think that you could say that I do the same thing over and over. I think that I do a lot of different things. I'm always exploring with a lot of different sounds and a lot of different melodies. But I do know what I can do well. And I'll push myself and I'll try different things. And I think that I have a pretty broad spectrum of things that I can do well musically. But I'm always looking for things that push me, but I'm always looking for things that, all right, this is my true north. This is who I am as an artist. But I like what these guys are doing over here, and maybe I can take some of that and put my spin on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Thank you so, so much for your time. Thank you for being on the show with me, and congrats on the deluxe album. It's really lovely to connect with you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Now I got to go back outside and plant flowers.
Oh, fun. Have a great time.
I couldn't show my hands and my fingernails all dirty.
Amazing. Go dig in that dirt.
Right on.
See ya. Thanks, Tim.
Bye.